the young players that they've got in the side. Like, when you get young players that come into the side, they never know when they're beaten. The majority of the lads will still be living at home. They've got no pressures in life, so they just want to go out there and play rugby. They want to enjoy it with the teammates, and what better to go down to the south of France and come away with 2 points.
We're underway in Perpignan. The Dragons against the Giants. Sounds like something from a nursery rhyme. I don't think this is going to be fairy tale stuff, really. It's going to be fierce early on between these two sides. The Giants with a bit of a score to settle, having been turned over on their own patch by the Catalan Dragons back in March, 46-26, but they know they can do it in Perpignan. They did last season, squeaking home 14-12. And it's Catalan with first touch of the ball, and Tony Gigot. And we've seen this before from Catalan. They'd start very ambitiously, looking to catch their opponents cold. Willie Mason starting this one. A kick from Myler comes in, and it's fielded by Ryan Briley, scorer of a great try against Leeds in the Cup last week. One of the wins that has really rejuvenated this Huddersfield side. McGilvray now, they'll have to keep an eye on Jermaine McGilvray with his great try-scoring record against the Catalan Dragons. And the first penalty of the game, sounded like. Referee is Gareth Hewer. Seen a lot of Catalan lately. Here's the Cumbrian referee. Offside against Catalan.
And an early penalty for Huddersfield. But you talk about Ryan Briley and that breakaway try he scored against Leeds last week in the Cup. A lot of the Huddersfield fans are saying he needs a little bit more to his game. That kick return, his first kick return, was a little bit tentative, but Huddersfield with possession and trying to get some field position.
Casti with the tackle on Johnson. So Huddersfield looking to profit. Hinchcliffe. Here's Lawrence now. 3 tackles gone. 30 metres out they are. And that's good defence as Cudjoe is decked by Pat Richards. Richards, just to emphasise, playing in the centres because of Vincent Depour's late withdrawal. But the Giants going wide. That's good strength. Great strength from Oliver Roberts. He's tackled about 10 metres out. The 5th. And Brough changes direction once, changes twice, still manages to get the kick away. Goes backwards in actual fact, but finds McGilvray. The danger isn't over yet. Here comes McGilvray. The pass again goes across the field, and then the kick from Josh Johnson. Then Wood puts a kick in, and eventually Fouad Yaha gathers it. Well, that was almost Catalan-esque from the Huddersfield Giants.
They were all over the place. When the second occasion that they kicked the ball, they're kicking looking for Jermaine McGilvray, who's brought the ball in field. So the winger wasn't in a position. Maybe they needed to show a bit more composure, get behind the man who's carrying the ball, and just keep offering themselves.
It was good kick pressure from the Dragons, though. They didn't give Danny Brough any time. He rushed his kick. The other 2 kicks went backwards, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Pat Richards against Leroy Cudjoe on that far side of the pitch. Some real threat and speed and penetration over that side.
Louis Anderson plays the ball now. There was a doubt about Louis Anderson ahead of this game. He came through okay, Ducour didn't. That would have been a big blow if Louis Anderson hadn't been able to play. Pelissier, good darting run from him, getting plenty of game time from the word go, the little hooker, because of Paul Ayton's misfortune with injuries since he's gone to Catalan. Myler, almost got the pass away, Richie Myler.
Really?
Here's Carney. Carney sweeps the ball out to Fouad Yaha. That's some battle out there, Jermaine McGilvray and Fouad Yaha. McGilvray very experienced, Fouad Yaha still finding his way, 19 years of age. Little kick comes in, too strong. Brough quick to return it.
Well, the speed of thought of Danny Brough, knowing that he just needs to get the ball and get up the field as quick as he can. Aaron Murphy was on the same page as him. But good attacking play from both sides here. From one end of the pitch to the other.
It's a fast-paced game. We haven't had 5 minutes yet.
Sets as well, aren't they?
Did he tap it from the near to the mark enough for you, Stuart? Danny Brough on that restart.
It was probably just about right. I think there's no obvious mark on there, so we'll give him the benefit. I think.
Stuart Cummings with us. to give his expert input, and it's needed. Here's Hinchcliffe. Cudjoe. Oh, McGilvray. It's unusual for him.
What great work from Joe Wardle. When he goes blind, so look, he sucks in Pat Richards. Pat Richard bites in, creates that 2-on-1, and then it's the pass from Cudjoe. The international winger goes over the shoulder of Jermaine McGilvray, and that would have been a certain try. If not, it would have been a 1-on-1 with Tony Gigo at the back, the full-back. So maybe missed an opportunity there in the opening 5 minutes.
Shake of the head from Jermaine McGilvray. 11 tries already this season for him. That guy in the shot there, Jean-Claude Pignol, who is the Catalan conditioner. 65 years of age he is. Actually retired from his job in the medical profession, but he insists on carrying on as a Catalans physio at 65. Pelissier. Here is Glenn Stewart now. Mr. Consistency.
Sorry, Bill, he does all the dirty work. He's a workaholic, isn't he, Glenn Stewart?
Pelissier skipping a jump from him. Gigo trying to find his way through. 30 metres out, Catalan. Oh, that ball fired towards Carney, and he has to retreat to gather it, but manages to get Catalan back on track. And Richards bumps aside the first challenge, but Wardle will have none of that.
Well, there's a couple of slow retreaters for Huddersfield. They're not getting back, they're not getting set. That's why Catalan are choosing to run the ball.
On the last, the kick for Broughton, but it's well gathered by Aaron Murphy, and Jody Broughton allowed him to gather it and then made the tackle.
Well, Jody Broughton, he was highlighted by Paul Anderson, who's coached him last year, of course. He said Jody Broughton's the main threat of this Dragons side. Another player blessed with pace and speed and a real try-poacher's instinct.
The Giants in possession with Kumatai playing in the front row because of Earl Crabtree's absence. And Huddersfield believing that they can still turn their season around and make up ground on the top 8. But they've got to be winning in places like Perpignan to be able to do that. Gigo returns.
Barry picked up on it in the opening couple of minutes. There's good pressure from Catalan on the last play. They're really getting off the line. They're getting into Danny Brough. They're getting into Kyle Wood. Not letting them get the kicks away or get the kicks to where they want it. And the penalty here now goes in favour of Catalan Dragons. Relieving penalty.
And Tez, what that kick pressure means is it's a poorer kick. They catch it on their own terms, and then the momentum that they can gain from that kick return allows them to get opportunities like that. It's a good game plan at the minute from the Dragons.
Offside against the Giants yields another penalty.
Well, they didn't find the touch then. I think that Catalan, Ryan Brierley's made a play for this. He's knocked the ball back into the field of play and it's gone dead.
That's it, and that results in a goal line dropout.
Why'd you look so surprised, Stuart?
I wasn't. You've been taught well.
You've been paying attention. Well, that was a lucky break.
Well, they'd be disappointed, Todd Carney, not to find touch, but Ryan Brierley, well, he's given himself a chance trying to get that ball, knowing that it's not going to get over the touch line, but concede the dropout here.
So Fuad Yaha will retrieve it. It's possibly the best result of that. Penalty would have had Huddersfield right back on their own 10-metre line, yeah.
So it's just little efforts, Bill, that gives you that chance in the game.
Casti plays the ball. Myler onto Stewart. Justin Horrow. Partnering Richards in the centre. Oh, that's a mess at the play, the ball, and Huddersfield have got it back.
Well, I don't think he's square at the marker, though. I think it should be a penalty to Catalan this, I think. Danny Brough is, but somebody else at the side of the play the ball there.
That's what Gareth Hewer saw as well.
Well, it's the man on the floor. Was it Connor?
So Huddersfield suffering at the moment in terms of the penalty count, and they could suffer in terms of points as well. Casti clinging on to that ball. Akuma Tai stopping him in his tracks. Pellissier fancied himself. Gets away from the first tackle. That's good defence.
There's that strong defence from Oliver Roberts.
Huddersfield under pressure though, and Cudjoe again doing well and managed to get right up in the face of Myler, I think it was, and the ball's come up for McGilvray.
Excellent read from Leroy Cudjoe, picks the ball up, tries another 10 or 12 metres for his team, although loses possession. It was a good defensive read by the centre.
So Huddersfield doing well to see off that particular challenge from this Catalan Dragons side, and that was a high shot, and the penalty will go Huddersfield's way.
He's got good feet, Oliver Roberts. He made a lovely break in that cup match against Leeds last week. Former Siddle amateur, runs hard. He's a big, powerful player. 6'3", 6'4", with lovely little footwork, and that's the reason he wrong foots defenders so much. Paul Anderson, a big admirer of his game.
The Giants weathering the storm early on in Perpignan, and now trying to put some pressure on this Catalan defence. Hinchcliffe directing operations, the former Melbourne Storm man. Here's a Kumatai. Now then Brough, one dummy, another one, and he almost wriggles free. It was Pellissier who kept a hold of him. Hinchcliffe bumps off one. Scrambling defence from this Catalan side.
Bill, they just look a little bit too deep to me, Huddersfield. They seem to be waiting for the next player. Danny Brough and probably Josh Johnson on the previous play. He's asking for people to push up.
They're caught in two minds, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're expecting someone to push up tight, hit that really good line.
And then when they are pushing up and pushing the pass, it's perhaps not on. Joe Wardle just getting caught over the line.
On the last, and Brough dinks a kick up into the air. Broughton claims it. Murphy gets a hold of him. The tables are turned, and the touch judge is on.
I think he was taken out in the air.
Yeah, I think that's why he's come on. He's tackled in the air when he caught the ball, which is obviously a penalty there. Yeah, there's contact before he comes down to the ground.
Well, Aaron Murphy, he's unable to show the same discipline that Jody Broughton did a couple of minutes ago.
So Huddersfield on the last play of that set and doing all the good work that had got him into that position. Here is Willie Mason now. Just 36 years of age. I mean, just turned 36 years of age. Kicking early, but straight into the arms of Ryan Briley of the Catalan Dragons.
Sorry, Bill, it was a poor kick that. Straight into his arms, didn't have to move. He brings his winger back into the play. And then all of a sudden, if you look at Huddersfield where they are, Aaron Murphy with that strong carry straight up the guts, is over the halfway line now.
Hinchcliffe keeping it simple. And that's another penalty, and there's a lot of whistle early on in this game. Another penalty.
So they've kicked early, it was a poor kick. They get over the halfway, and now they earn the side of penalty. Josh Johnson.
You talked about Aaron Murphy's carry. The speed of that play, the ball, give Josh Johnson through the hands of Danny Brough. A fractured line, and the referee forced to blow his whistle.
And it means that Huddersfield have another good opportunity. Lawrence with the first tilt at the Catalan Dragons defence. Wood gets the pass away well. Wardle, but that was forward, I think.
Yeah, forward pass.
But watch the pressure from Catalan Dragons. I think it's Josh Johnson who takes the ball up. It's not Josh Johnson, it's Kyle Wood. He takes the ball up. He has literally a second to catch the ball and pass it before he's whacked by a defender. They're certainly on the money today, Catalan, in defence, both in terms of kick pressure and putting pressure on those players that have the ball first up.
Their home defence hasn't been that good, actually, Catalan. 158 points conceded in 6 home matches at an average of 26 points on home soil. You're hardly going to pick up silverware, especially in Super League, with a defence that leaks that sort of number of points.
I think all the talk this year is they're in about Catalan's away form, not the home form. So they're after a good performance at home to really get the crowd going. Everyone knows that they're doing well and they're at the top of the table, and they are genuine contenders for getting to the grand final come October.
Huddersfield were last season. They've slipped a long way from that form early on in the season. Just signs in the last few weeks that they're rediscovering it through to the cup quarter-finals. Wakefield to play in that. And Carney hoists the kick. That's a better one. And Briley underneath it. Ooh, that one went backward, fortunately for him. And he looks up, having regained the ball, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. He's lucky though, he gets away with that. He could be tested now because of that mistake, and what teams do is, as soon as you make one mistake, they'll keep testing you and testing you. The opening 15 minutes, so he's got 65 more minutes to contend with some of those high balls.
Well, by the same token, Huddersfield must have noticed how vulnerable Tony Gigot was at Batley last week in the Cup, and I wonder if Danny Brough has got something lined up for him. Off goes Hinchcliffe now, then finds Brough. Here is Cudjoe. Cudjoe, ball in one hand. Basketball stuff from him, but it's pinged backwards and Brough has to retreat to get it.
Well, he doesn't
wrestle on the floor with Brough and Pelissier. Certain similarity between those two characters.
He doesn't need to pass that ball, does he, Bill? He can't get it to the hands of his teammates, so don't just throw it at the floor.
Well, Tony Gigot is pointing at the scuffle and the fight at the top of the pitch.
Oh, dear me.
That's the reason he passed that ball to nowhere.
Do you know, he comes up with some brilliant players, doesn't he, lads? But that's one of those brain explosions that maybe the right thing to do, pass the ball, but make sure it's better executed.
Well, I don't know about you, Tez, but
well, something's going on in back play.
When all that's going on, for me, the opportunities are there because too many people are in the melee, if you like. There's bound to be gaps and spaces somewhere.
I think this is to do with Brough's tackle on this.
It is, yeah.
He's around the head and he's wrestling to the ground around his head.
It's when Danny Brough gets hold of the ball, Pelissier tackles him. There's a meeting of minds in the literal sense. The penalty's here for one.
For a high shot.
Yeah, one of the tackles.
It's more of a grapple
later
tackle.
on.
He took, he wrapped him around the head and took him to the ground by his head.
Eric Hewer might have his work cut out in this one. It's warming up. 20-odd degrees in the sun in Perpignan. A cooling breeze, but some hot heads out there at the moment. No points yet. Oh, Louis Anderson. Quick play the ball. Carney, leisurely approach from him. Muniz now. One of the stalwarts of this Catalan club, Greg Muniz. Here's Glenn Stewart, and Stewart trying to find Gigot, but the pass comes up for Briley, and Gigot frustrated.
They've done that from minute one. They take the ball away from the play the ball. They look to get the big three men, the A, B and C defender chasing sideways, and then they switch the ball back in to see if they can get one of the defenders on the opposite side of the ruck, seeing if he's switched off.
It looked like Glenn Stewart had almost put a short pass into the hole that was available, but Tony Gigot was on the other side of the defender in the opposite swimming lane, the swimming channel if you like, and there was no gap to be found, and it bounced and ricocheted off his chest. But 18 minutes of stalemate, neither side is gaining the ascendancy. It's a good tussle.
Neither side's really had an opportunity in this game. Well, I suppose that early ball for McGilvray, if it had stuck, the way was clear for him there.
Let's credit the defence, Bill. I think it's been committed, it's been stern, there's been a couple of mistakes. This man looks the threat.
They're looking for Cudjoe and McGilvray a lot on that Giants right hand side. Kyle Wood nod of the head, and then he goes in the opposite direction. There they go again, looking for McGilvray.
Well, it's for the inexperience of Pat Richards in the centre. He's got all the experience in the world playing on the wing, but it's a different position when you've got to defend one man in. And then outside him, he's got Fuad Yaha, the young 19-year-old. So with a couple of England internationals in Cudjoe and McGilvray, that is certainly the game plan as Big Billy Mason takes a breather.
Thomas Bosch is the player that's replaced him. I can't imagine he's gone in the front row. but possibly Lauren Fresinu trying to get a few more minds, a bit more intellect.
Busquets out there as well.
Busquets, he's replaced Willie Mason.
Impressive performer so far this season, Julien Busquets, homegrown player. Delissier. Coming up to the end of the first quarter, there is Busquets, former Lesignan prop.
He's a huge man, isn't he? Keeps improving every game.
Oh, Casty and Hinchcliffe took him high there.
Casty gets at least 2 of them every single week because of his run, because of the way that he makes himself such a small person. He's small in attack, he's big while he's defending, but he makes himself so small, he ducks down, changes lines and angles of running. I think that's why he gets so many penalties against him.
Well, he's a great servant for the Catalan club. Remy Castille, a popular figure. So is this guy, Louis Anderson, who speaks very good French now, and he speaks a bit of Catalan as well, which is crucial in that very independently minded part of France. Pelissier changes the direction. Here's Richards. Oh, just bumps off Kyle Wood. Eventually he's stopped. Carney. Bosk puts a little grubber kick in. And Murphy does ever so well there. Can't quite get out of trouble.
Well, Remy Castille, he makes that tackle. Gareth Hewitt, he wants to look at something.
Doesn't he? I think he's not impressed with what he's hearing, Stuart.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think somebody's had a go.
It could have been a high tackle from Remy Castille.
Danny Brough?
Well, that's what he was asking Gareth Hewitt. Wasn't that a high shot?
Well, there's certainly
Castille.
contact around the head. He probably could have penalised him for that, but I think he's pulled out Ryan Hinchcliffe as captain to have a word about Danny Brough and the comments he's been making through the game.
And Billa talks about Thomas Bosch coming onto the pitch. I think it's Richie Myler who he's replaced. So
Myler off. That's a blow if that is what has transpired. We're in the hands of the French television coverage for finding that sort of information out. But Thomas Bosch, to be fair, has been in great shape this season.
You think that'd be an injury to Richie Myler, wouldn't you, if he's left the pitch?
Carney finds Glenn Stewart now. Quarter of the game gone, and we're still waiting for the first points at the start. Gilbert Brutus. Oh, that's a great hit, but the ball's kept alive, but ends up in the hands of Kyle Wood. Here's Cudjoe now.
That ball was telegraphed. You could see that coming a mile up. It was preempted. As the Catalan player was going into contact, they made that mistake, and then they compound that by giving a penalty away here. Just too long on Kyle Wood. Wouldn't let him up to play the ball. The halfback trying ever so strongly to get up, get to his knees. See Louis Anderson, Thomas Bosch. Thomas Bosch just trying to turn him over onto his back, making it a slower play, the ball. But Kyle Wood, well, he comes up trumps on that occasion.
Here's Jermaine McGilvray, who scored tries in all 3 meetings between the clubs last season, Huddersfield and Catalan. In fact, he scored tries in the last 5 against the Dragons, so the chances are that Jermaine McGilvray will feature somewhere on the score sheet. Lawrence plays the ball. They're looking again to get it to that wing. Wardle, good strength from the Scotsman, the Scottish international.
And on that occasion it was about giving early ball to the outside backs and let them make the plays, let them pick out the likes of Pat Richards and Fuad Yaha over on the left side.
Rapira plays the ball. Brough gets the pass away, gone forward I think, and it's on the last. That'll be the turnover in actual fact. And
kick pressure's
something going on in back play.
Kick pressure's been good. I think possibly some frustration from Huddersfield Giants with the way that those kickers and passers are being treated, but it's the Dragons giving the Giants no time at all. you watch the attention that Danny Brough is getting. He comes inside and then he catches one from Gregory Muniz, and it's a push-a-thon. You push, I'll push, I'll grab.
He takes exception, doesn't he? Because when Muniz comes in, he goes for like a shoulder barge, he lifts his elbow up, and that's what Danny Brough takes exception to.
Well, the penalty count is really high for a game of this intensity. It's 6-4 in favour of Catalan.
We've got a few firecrackers there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Who's going to get in the middle of that? Louis Anderson. Come on, boys, let's calm it down.
Gregory Muniz is...
It is a penalty going to be for Huddersfield. It's got to come from the penalty, do you not think, Stuart?
He's quite a composed player, Gregory Muniz, normally, but that's...
He's turned that round, hasn't he, Stuart?
Well, he gave a handover. He's obviously had information from the video referee, and he's penalised Remy Casti for the use of the forearm on Danny Brough.
And we could have the first points of the game. I think they're going for the 2 points.
And it's the right decision, isn't it? He goes in, leads with the elbow, Gregory Muniz. He hits Danny Brough, flush just under the chin.
I think it's more of a forearm than an elbow. I think
it's a shoulder charge gone wrong. If anything, he's gone to shoulder charge, and the more the players moved away from him, the more he's outstretched. And he's not that type of player, Gregory Muniz. But
no, he's not.
Penalty. And 2 points to Huddersfield.
It's a difficult game. Difficult game for Gareth Hewer this so far, isn't it, Stuart? There's a lot.
Well, it certainly is.
On.
There's obviously a bit between the two teams, and he'll be looking to try and settle it down. We've had a lot of penalties in the first sort of 15 minutes, and we saw last night Ben Thaler was had both teams on warnings at some point, and perhaps we're going to get to that stage here.
Yeah. The game last year when the Giants won 14-12 in Perpignan was a bit feisty. Then of course there was that 22-all draw in Newcastle where Catalan thought they'd been robbed.
Danny Brough kicked it right to the end.
A cracking game, that one, wasn't it?
But it's Huddersfield who have the lead, albeit by just 2 points. That's from the boot of Brough. But at least we've got points on the board. Sam Rapira now, been very impressive since joining the Giants. He's been ever present. And here's Michael Lawrence.
Very honest player, Rapira. Very hard working. Always puts his hand up to take those difficult carries.
This is a nice simple set, isn't it? Everything's around the ruck from Huddersfield. Want to get to the kick. 5 carries. Nathan Mason second in the set of 6 as Rapira.
Lovely stuff.
Not so simple now. Cudjoe onto McGilvray. McGilvray outside Fouad Yaha. Puts the kick in. Ricochets. Was that played at? Or did it just ricochet, Stuart?
Well, there are always difficulties because Gigot has to put himself in the position. I don't think you can say he played at that. I think the ball comes to him.
It was lovely stuff from Huddersfield. Delicate hands from the substitute Nathan Mason. He passes it to Rapira. Quick hands finds Jermaine McGilvray, who tries to kick it inside. It's one of those 50-50 calls.
Was that the play, Barry? Because Ryan Bradley was there.
Yeah, Fouad Yaha, we can't always tell off the camera angles where Fouad Yaha, he'd probably done enough to not obstruct, but put off the thought process that I'll pass it back inside.
And it's Huddersfield's head and feet
here. It looks like they've decided that Gigot played at that.
So more pressure for the Catalan defence to deal with from this Huddersfield Giants side, who lead by 2 points to 0. Roberts tackled, plays the ball. Lawrence edges nearer that Catalan try line, and then Hinchcliffe, and it opens up for Mason, and glorious opportunity, try under the posts, and Hinchcliffe handed it on a plate to Nathan Mason, who gets his first try of the season, and they won't come much simpler than that.
Put on a plate for the big fella. Hinchcliffe, he sees that the markers aren't set, he sees he can engage that tight defender, and he puts big Nathan Mason in. Nicknamed Melman by his teammates. It looks like a baby giraffe when he's running around. The former Waterhead amateur player gets over for a try. He'll be delighted. First points on the board for the Giants, and it's Huddersfield who've broken the deadlock.
And that was a worry for the Catalan defence, because it was such an inviting opportunity for Ryan Hinchcliffe, and he used all his experience, 31 years of age, to exploit it and present the chance for 22-year-old Nathan Mason. And Brough kicking that penalty a few moments ago, and he's back virtually where he kicked it from to line up the conversion to extend the Giants' lead. Towards those Huddersfield supporters in the stand, here you go.
Well, the vision from Ryan Hinchcliffe has been ever present, gives it to Nathan Mason, 6'4", 18 stone. He just runs at space, and if he's going to get a one-on-one with a leg tackler close to the line, he's either going to break free, or that close to the line he's just going to pop the ball down. But it's been a good game, and in the previous set of 6, Nathan Mason carried the ball on 2 occasions, as did Sam Rapira. So the forwards seem to be finding the stride in this game. They're matching and they're coping with the battle and the ferocity that Catalans seem to be throwing with them, and Huddersfield seem to be building in confidence as this game goes on.
And because of all the changes that Catalan have made, there's none of their usual fluency. Myler going off has just added to their problems. Anthony Maria is on for Catalan. Laurent Fraser making another change. Meanwhile, Huddersfield coming forward again.
This is a good set. At least 10 metres being gained on every carry. They approach the halfway line and they're going to kick the ball on good terms here, Huddersfield. Cracking signs if you're a Giants fan.
Remember, no Coltrane for the Catalan Dragons. Derailed after that incident against Batley. Jason Barteri as well out. They'll be back for the Magic Weekend game against the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, one of the games you'll be able to see on Sky Sports from St James's Park, bringing a bit of joy to that ground. Hasn't been a lot this season. Here come the Catalan Dragons. Jody Broughton coming in off his wing to get involved. Catalan looking to respond. Half an hour gone, they trail by 8 points to 0. Anthony Maria gets the pass away to Thomas Bosch. Here's Louis Anderson now. Carney trying to tease this Giants defence. Gigot though stopped. Justin Horro, but Horro going nowhere, gets the pass away, but only as far as a Giants player. And a goal line dropout is the verdict from Gareth Hewer.
Good defence from the Giants. It's Jody Broughton who dinks the ball into the in goal, and the big fella, he decides to tap it over the backfield. I jinxed them, didn't I? Said the set was looking good. Look at those 3 players. Ice and strapping on the thigh of Richie Myler. I said that Huddersfield were looking good in the previous set, and they respected my word and dropped the pill, and they're now defending their own line. Well done, Barry.
Brough with the dropout, not one of his best, and Bosch sits it up for Anthony Maria. Played in the championship semi-final last weekend, Anthony Maria for Saint-Estève UTC. They lost 17 points to 16 to Carcassonne. So Carcassonne into the final, where they'll play Limoux at Albi next Saturday. And Julien Bousquet, and Bousquet gets the pass away. It misses Pelissier, but is picked up. And it's Romain Navarrete, this debutant, and Taylor puts the kick in. It's a great one, and again it's a goal line dropout. Murphy just doing enough.
Some lovely contributions by Navarrete, the former Pierre Donkey, and the Dragons applying some pressure and sustained pressure at that.
It's not just a tackling machine, Glenn Stewart. Dave Taylor, we've seen him over recent weeks just drop the ball onto his toe, force the opposition to kick that ball out, but Glenn Stewart comes up with a nice little kick, forcing the second goal line dropout.
I'll tell you what, there'll be a bit of a cheer in Hemel Hempstead with Romain Navarrete getting on the field, the former Hemel Stag. Dan Sargentson, Romain Navarrete.
Would you rather be a stag or a donkey?
That's a very good question.
It is one for our viewers. That
Pierre or Hemel Hempstead. That's possibly another way of looking at it.
A stag or a donkey?
With respect
Answers
to,
on Twitter.
With respect to Hemel Hempstead. Here's Anthony Maria. So So Catalan responding. They trail by 8 points to 0 against this improving Huddersfield Giants side. Still in the bottom two of the table, of course. Unlikely looking first utility Super League table with Leeds at the bottom and the Giants just above them. But here comes Louis Anderson, and Anderson will get the Catalan Dragons on the board. Brother Vinny in that Carcassonne side who went out last week, and Louis gets the first points of the game for the Catalan Dragons with his 4th try of the season.
Look at the line from Louis Anderson. He catches the defender tight to the ruck. It's Kyle Wood who's grasping at the ankle of the former New Zealand international. Like a thermal lance, he pierces through the defensive line of the Giants, and that's too much defending for the Huddersfield team.
What's wrong with hot knife through butter?
Like a thermal, it's bigger, Bill. It's got to be bigger. Like a thermal lance. Pierce through anything.
So, after a lot of huffing and puffing from the Catalan Dragons, and that really was probably the first decent opportunity they've had, certainly the best attack they've put together, and Louis Anderson benefits from it.
Look at the wind, Bill. Look at those posts flapping in the wind.
I think that was the camera wobbling.
It was the camera right on the scaffolding.
It's the posts.
Pat Richards banged it between the posts. The flags are certainly fluttering.
The number 15 Busquets sets that try up because his first movement when he catches that ball, he runs straight. He stops the sliding defence, and then all of a sudden, when the ball goes out to Thomas Bosk and he hits an outline, then the Huddersfield players are chasing sideways. As soon as they chase sideways, that ball is then turned inside to that man, Louis Anderson. Clever play, but started, I believe, from the run from Busquets.
Louis in his 5th season in France, and as we said earlier on, certainly enjoying life in that part of the world. Catalans 6, the Huddersfield Giants 8, and here is Busquets.
He's got so much experience, hasn't he, Louis Anderson? Before he was 21 years of age, he made 13 internationals for New Zealand. Quality player. Great service to Warrington as well.
I think sometimes you can overlook his service to Warrington. He played in 2 Challenge Cup finals with the great club, and he's come over to Catalan and added some steel and experience to that pack.
The Catalan buoyed by that successful attack and their first try of the game with Carney, but Carney trying to find Anthony Maria, and the referees wipe the tackle count clean. There was a Giants hand in there.
I think he was saying it, Nathan Mason, the ball's come off him. He showed up well, the number 30 Navarrete, really putting his hand forward. He's taking those hard carries close to the ruck.
Here's Glenn Stewart, and Stewart almost through, and suddenly Huddersfield's defence is looking vulnerable. They're back on their own try line, and Catalan are scenting more points here. Bosk coming across the field, not the best pass from him, finds Tony Gigot, who puts the kick in, and wasn't the best kick, and Wardle scoops it up.
No, it wasn't the best, Bill. I think relief on the faces. Yeah, relief on the faces of the Huddersfield defenders when the ball was on the floor and they were able to pick it up. It looked for a second like they were going to surrender 2 tries in almost as many minutes.
When you're so close to the opposition's line, you don't kick the ball on the second play. Not if you can't get a clean kick away and the defensive line's straight in front of you.
Catalan having a bit of a rush of blood there. Tony Gigot, who is prone to that. Maria could have been penalised there as he went back in on the prone Aaron Murphy. The game's calmed down a bit now after a little flurry of fisticuffs and feistiness. Hinchcliffe, Brough, and Brough kicking, well, aiming for the corner, can't quite find that.
Do you know, they're only little things, but Sam Rapiri takes that ball, he finishes on his front, plays it quick, and he gives Danny Brough more time to slot the ball. We've already seen how much kick pressure he's been under, but as I said, they're only little things, but Sam Rapiri played a big part in Danny Brough's ability to get that kick away.
Here's Justin Horrow deputising for Chris Naninu, whose season has been ended by knee injury. And Fouad Yaha now scorer against Batley last week, and that's a knock-on by Catalan Dragons.
And it's the correct decision, that. Okay, the focal point of the game is getting up, playing the ball as quickly as you can. I just believe that the Catalan, well, they lost that ball. You can see, can't place the ball on the ground, it's just really pushed through. I think Pat Richards was asking the referee, Gareth Hewitt, saying that there was some of the Huddersfield players interfering at the ruck.
I think one of the Catalan players got nutmegged then, but anyway, go on.
Yeah, but I think you could probably look at that as being a penalty almost, throwing the ball between your legs.
Because he didn't touch it with his foot,
well,
or attempt to touch it with his foot.
He just threw the ball between his legs.
Roberts plays the ball. Brough serves it up to Michael Lawrence now.
I agree, Stuart, it's a debate for another time, but I reckon we start making players touch the ball with the foot, actually touch it, and we'll clear a lot of the mess in the play the ball up. But anyway, let's crack on.
Giants try scorer Nathan Mason plays the ball. It's now with Michael Lawrence as they come to their left.
There we go.
Catalan are offside. It'll go for 2.
Go for 2 points here. Surely, clock ticking down. You're in control, you're in the south of France. You're up against a very, very good side. You're bottom of the table, or do you tap it?
You tap
wow.
it. You ignore the wisdom being expounded here, and you instead come up with a try in all probability. Now, after that, and Catalan could pay a heavy price for that. And Sir Kyle Wood, I think it is, who's over the line, but he's held up.
Well, he gives himself a chance, doesn't he? He's trying to wriggle out of the tackle.
Nice contribution from Jamie Ellis. He's there at the play the ball. He fights to get up and play it as quick as he can. And Kyle Wood is held up.
Isn't it? Goes back 10 metres, Stuart.
That's right. Played on the 10 metres.
So continue on with the set of 6.
Now they go wide. Joe Wardle.
I think they'll score here, Huddersfield, Tess. I feel a try coming.
Outrageous suggestion. 10 metres out, Huddersfield. They lead by 8 points to 6. Briley, Brough. The kick. Oh well, so much for that theory. Todd Carney.
I think it's the next set of 6 you're talking about, isn't it, Barry?
Or maybe the first set of the second.
And do you know what? They didn't go for the 2 points, Bill, but you've got to back your players. If your players think, no, we've got them on the rack, we think that we can score a try, we want to build that pressure, well, they're the players, that's the team that you've picked, but I thought 2 points was the option then.
Well, it's giving every indication of being another tight game. It was 14-12 between these two on this ground last season. It's 6-8 coming up to half-time. Points could be precious.
And the outside backs for Catalan were just coming in, the speed from them. A big strong carry from Pat Richards, the Irish international.
Well, we've got over 40 minutes of this game, but the under-19s, the game involving the Dragons and the Huddersfield side that Andy Kelly is head of youth, that was 39 points to 26. Lots of points and tries in that one.
Here is the debutant Romain Navarrete, who comes highly recommended by David Ferriol. And if David Ferriol recommends somebody, then you pay attention. Carney has lost that ball, and I think Horrow couldn't ground it, and that was a chance gone begging for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, when he goes at the line, was he just trying to reach out here? No, he just loses the ball.
That's the chance. That's the chance.
It was play on from there.
Yeah.
Goes backwards.
That ball goes backwards. So would you have gone upstairs? So Horrow drops the ball. Did Horrow drop the ball in, Stuart?
Yeah, he's knocked on, clearly knocked on. But, in my view, that ball was still live. He just had to pick it up and put it over the line.
What an opportunity that was for the Catalan Dragons. Carney couldn't get there, but Justin Horrow probably should have done. Bit of a Horrow show, that. Been waiting for that.
You've been working on that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been waiting for that one. Here's Sam Rapira.
Well, Huddersfield, if they can just get to half time now, without gifting the ball to the opposition, giving them another chance near their line. Just nice, easy stuff, bringing the ball away.
Jamie Ellis involved there, back in action after 11 out. That's a big boost for Paul Anderson and his team. Coming up to the final few seconds of this first 40 minutes. It's been a real tight, tense, niggly at times tussle. And the ball with Tony Gigot. Gigot, will he try something audacious or will he just keep it cool? He does. Slightly cool. And even as the first half comes to an end, there's just a suggestion of a bit of ill feeling between these two sides. One or two similar personalities out there. And Laurent Freysineau knows his side are in a battle. Justin Horo, fair bit of niggle in among the action in the first 40 minutes. And it's quite a debut for that young man, Romain Navarrete, 21 years of age. Catalan having to make the changes. Anthony Maria there, another player who's come into the side because of a rash of injuries, and Catalan have been quite lucky up until now in terms of injuries, but they suddenly seem to have, as so many sides have done already this season, have hit their patch where they are hit by a number of injuries. You can see the ball bobbling in the breeze as Pat Richards gets us underway in the second half in Perpignan, and a heck of a kick-off, but it comes up when the opportunity was there for Catalan. It comes up for Michael Lawrence for the Giants.
The wicked Pat Richards kickoffs. I've seen him at training when he was involved in one of the mid-season games, and his kickoffs are immense.
Well, that one didn't quite come off. Huddersfield managed to cope with it, and they are in possession now with Akumatai.
Bill, you normally see straight after half-time where the team's going to play, the direction that the coach has given them, where they've spotted that weakness, and I feel that the game is going to open up in this second half. They've had the ball, they've had the first share of field position, both sides, just one try apiece. But if they can get down and camp down near the opposition's line, I'm sure there'll be plenty more tries.
Fouad Yaha does well there to come and collect that ball and then finds a gap in the defence, and it was good covering defence from Michael Lawrence to shut down the danger. But here comes Pat Richards, that characteristic knees-high running style of his. And Catalan looking maybe to get some momentum. Here's Glenn Stewart, and Stewart gets the ball away to Horo, and Horo can't get the pass to Jody Broughton, and Murphy comes up with it.
Well, looking at shifting the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. First Fouad Yaha, then it was Pat Richards playing off the scrum line. They go right, and then just the mistake close to the sideline.
There's Akumatai, and Pellissier again lifting. Well, he's got to be careful there because his teammates Dave Taylor and Jason Barteri know how that can be viewed by referees. And they're both sitting this one out because of that.
Well, normally you'll get the smaller players in the hooking role that will hit low, will try and get underneath the bigger players. They've done it all their careers ever since they've been younger, playing in the amateur game, because they have been targeted, so they have got that technique of getting under the bigger fellas.
Paul McShane's really good at it. Castleford, he often heads his way into our big hits compilation, but Pellissier needs to control that. He'll put himself in jeopardy of a ban.
Lawrence plays the ball, and Wood, a little kick over the top, and just finds the right side of the white line.
Well, just quite content, kick the ball in the corner. We spoke about in commentary last night what teams normally like to do. As Fouad Yaha, he catches the ball.
Tremendous return from Yaha, wasn't it?
When he gets the ball, I think he was anticipating the tackle from Lawrence. He didn't open up, he was actually waiting for him. If he was in the clear, he just needs to go for it.
When he dropped into gear, he got 15-20 metres from that quick play of the ball. The momentum was with the Dragons.
Here is Horo now taking the first run from that scrum. Pellissier. The Giants looking to be winners in Europe today, to maybe set the path for Joe and Jake later on. Who can tell? Oh, save me. Julien Bousquet.
Wonder if that was a part of the team talk.
Absolutely.
I thought you meant Joe and Jacob Wardle. Jacob Wardle, younger brother of Joe, he's a great player. Watched him a couple of times in the 19s for the Giants.
Does he sing?
Sometimes. Not as good as me, as we established on the last Catalan game.
Anthony Murillo. Groan from the Catalan supporters who felt that one was high. Carney hoists that kick. McGilvray rock solid underneath that one. Eyes on the ball.
Well, he's normally a player, Jermaine McGilvray, that you don't want to kick the ball to. He's one of the best kick returners of the rugby ball in Super League. So powerful. He's up to top speed of just over a couple of strides.
Huddersfield coping well with the challenge that Catalan present so far. Just shading this one. Sam Rapira took that one and built up a head of steam. And they're getting a bit of a roll on here. And now looking to go out wide. Wardle. Richards with a good tackle to deny him. And then Brough. Time to hoist the kick. And Gigot confident to let that one go.
Confident and relieved. It was very high. We watched against Leeds a couple of weeks ago what that particular asset to Danny Brough's game can do to any player. Tony Gigot, he watched it bounce out of play and thought, phew.
Second race, work inside your hold.
Maria. Anthony Maria, that is. There's Jody Broughton. Richie Myler out of the game, but the word is that he's actually changed. He's not going to be coming back. So there's some possibly long-term problem for Richie Myler, which will be a big blow. Todd Carney's fitness is, well, hit and miss, isn't it? He's just back in the side today after another problem. Here's Bousquet. Gigot pushes Wardle out of the way, and then Boss, little chip kick ahead, and Murphy was there, and you thought, such was the angle of the coverage there, I thought there's nobody there.
He had half a chance there,
Murphy
although there's a penalty at the play of the ball. Thomas Bosch won't let Aaron Murphy play it, but you did, he put that ball through. You thought to yourself, he's got a chance.
Do you remember that try he scored against Harlequins?
Absolutely. Did he kick it, catch it, kick it again? Was that the one?
He did, didn't he? Yeah. Left then his right, I think it was, if my memory serves me correctly.
You look at the way that Huddersfield and Catalan are playing. You're trying to work out what areas they're trying to get to. In the first 20 minutes, they were looking at getting to Pat Richards and Fuad Yaha. Now they just seem to be quite content with just taking one-up carries, not really opening up. They get that good field position. They just want some support. A man inside, a man outside. Who they're going to hit, who's the option, who's the lead runner.
Wardle. Brough. Little grubber kick, and everybody's standing watching it. And it's Horrow who picks it up in the end. Carney watched that one go.
And Bill, when you're close to the opposition's try line, Danny Brough, one of the best kickers of the rugby ball in Super League. He needs to get that ball in the air. He needs to ask questions of Tony Gigot, because if he puts it up 30 metres to the line, his defenders, his teammates are going to be up there in the eye line of the Catalan fullback.
Mason is back on for the Catalan Dragons. Here's their try scorer, Louis Anderson. Kumatai, like Louis, a former New Zealand warrior, makes the tackle. Bosk had a man on his shoulder, but couldn't get the pass to Carney.
No, well, Sam Rapira soon saw to that one, didn't he?
Legally?
He took that threat out.
He just
hit on suspicion.
didn't he?
High kick, Briley is underneath it, and then just hands it on to Aaron Murphy and says, here you go, have a go.
Well, confronted with 4 defenders from Catalan. You can see, just slowing them down, getting the numbers in, commit those defenders. The first player, Jody Broughton, catching the Huddersfield player, just keeping him up before taking him to ground. Connor. He does everything right, doesn't he, Jody Broughton?
And Jake Connor's a very abrasive player. He carries strong, he hits hard. He won't take a backward step to nobody, Jake Connor. 2 former teammates, of course.
So another penalty. Plenty of those in this game. Dodged one. There's no dodging Glenn Stewart.
Sorry, Bill. Policia shot the line. He went hunting.
And that ball has been lost. The Giants coming up with the error.
Well, Akuma Tai, when he goes into contact, Gareth Hewitt saying he clearly loses the ball. He's looking to offload it. Yeah, he does get the ball away, Stuart. You can see when he goes in, he's trying to get the ball over Bousquet, and he's saying, well, I've offloaded that ball backwards. It's not a knock-on.
No, it looks like it's gone backwards, hasn't it? But I think Gareth Hughes got a call from the side, and he's gone with that call.
Ready, lads, get the formation.
So 10 minutes or so almost into this second half, and a bit like the first, points hard to come by. Huddersfield 8-6 ahead.
Ryan, 10 metres.
And that's one of those 50-50 calls that are played. If you can't get a clean offload away, don't try and attempt it. Just get down and play the ball as quick as you can. Otherwise, you're going to be under pressure like this.
Lawrence gets a hold of Pelissier.
On the line, wait. He's underneath.
Pelissier manages to play the ball despite bodies all over the place, and here's Gigot now. Gigot trying to use his strength and guile, but good defence from the Giants on their own try line. Bosque to Carney. Carney onto Louis Anderson for Richards, but that's great defence from Michael Lawrence. Stopped Richards in his tracks. It was Jermaine McGilvray who did the job there. And a crossfield kick. Up goes Broughton. Great hands from Broughton, and this time Horrow will get the ball down. He missed one in the first half, but there was no denying him then. But hats off to Jody Broughton, who climbed athletically to claim that kick. And Justin Horrow atones for that first half miss.
Again, look at the kick, absolutely perfect. Jody Broughton, when he goes up for that ball, he's competing with Aaron Murphy, but he doesn't panic. He knows that he's got a man who's inside him, which is Horrow, stays behind the ball. So that's the option. If it's not Horrow, it's Glenn Stewart that's put himself in a position to take this ball. Look, nice soft catch, nice little offload. There was no panic in that pass because he knows his teammate is in support. So although Jody Broughton, the man who can score the tries, doesn't score on that occasion, he creates one for his teammate.
Well, he's a big basketball fan, is Justin Horrow, and there was an element of the basketball court about that try. And that's put Catalan ahead for the first time in this game. And Richards with the conversion attempt. You can see the trees bending in the wind there. Pat Richards, already 49 goals to his name for his latest club. His return to Super League this season to extend the Dragons' lead. Thumps that one. I think that almost disappeared over the top of that new stand.
Well, this is a brilliant kick from Todd Carney, and if the Giants are going to get anything from this game, they need to take a leaf out of the Dragons, but don't give players like Todd Carney that much time that they can put it into the box where they want to put it, and obviously capitalise on that opportunity. There's Richie Myler. His day is done. The injury will mean he will not come back. That will alter the rotation of the Dragons. Obviously a half-back as well.
Stuart, that conversion.
Well, I'm not sure what's happened there. I think we had one flag up and one flag down. I don't know whether the goal's been awarded or not. And certainly the scoreline indicates that it hasn't.
And what's the option for the referee?
We've got to remain behind the goal line.
The referee judges in that case. If you've got one flag up and one flag down, the referee makes the decision. I'm not sure what he's given.
And you can see what it's a well-constructed try, but you can also trace that back to the mistake, the panic in the offload from, I think it was Akuma Tai, who tries to get the ball away. So now they're behind on the scoreboard now. Oh, there's a penalty. Willie Mason, well, he's not the smallest of men. A couple of players get underneath him, thinks Leroy Cudjoe. You can see he lifts his leg. Jermaine McGilvray over the top.
Well, that's the same as we had two players banned from the Catalan Dragons last week for a similar tackle, only saved by the fact that he put his hand down. So the match review panel, I'm sure, will be interested in that one this week.
Seen a lot of them this year, haven't we, Stuart?
Yeah, we only have to look at the Widnes Wakefield game to know and understand the dangers of a tackle like that. Lovely offload
Great
from
ball.
Mason.
Great ball.
One shot, only two. Move! Go.
Now then, Catalan trying to hit them again with another try. Carney had to avoid Bosk, and here is Thomas Bosk now. Bosk back for Bousquet. Bousquet is stopped. Huddersfield with a bit of a job on at the moment to contain this Catalan side. Anderson, Louis Anderson, scorer of a first half try.
Hold the line. Line, Ryan.
That conversion from Richards waved away, we think. Here they come again with Carney, and Carney is well tackled.
Hold. Go.
It's the fifth. Oh, that's a knock on there. And that'll be the turnover.
He'll normally concentrate Felicia, doesn't he?
Mistake at the play of the ball. Is he trying to pass that ball before he has control of it? You'd have to say yes. Here's the break. Pelissier ragged by Joe Wardle. Ragged being the technical term for somebody who grabs hold of the shirt and flings them to the ground.
He come up with two good reads, Joe Wardle, in that set 6 defensively, but Pelissier, better player than that. Your job as a hooker, pick the ball up cleanly, give it to one of your teammates in a better position than yourself. But Jermaine McGilvray, look at that, 4 players looking to push the big powerful winger back.
And he still plays his ball quicker than they can get set in defence.
3 moves. Great, 10 metres. Wait.
Still confused about that non-conversion. The word from Perpignan is that it was waved away. That's a good kick from the Giants, turning Catalan all the way around. But the referee seemed to signal that it was a successful conversion, Stuart. Surely that must stand.
Well, he seemed to blow his whistle afterwards, and I didn't have any view of the referee, whether he put his hand up or not, but I suppose we'll just hope that the score is right.
Maybe it doesn't come down to that. 10-8. Who was it who said we were in for a points fest in the second half?
It was me. I still stand by it. Still 25 minutes to go, Bill. Tony Gigo's getting his hands on the ball more. You've also got Todd Carney getting his hands on the ball more. Pelissier from dummy half.
If you think it's going to be a points fest, which team do you think will post those points, or do you think they're both?
I think both teams have posed the points, but in the last 5 minutes, I think Catalan and their influential players, all the big signings, all the players who are on the bigger contracts, are starting to run at and take on Huddersfield.
The Kumatai.
Well, there's certainly a lot of work around the head there, isn't there? I think we'll probably find that this will be a penalty to Catalan Dragons.
It's turning out to be a hard afternoon for Gareth Hewer, isn't it, Stuart?
Well, certainly from here, he's wrestled to the ground by his head, and I think he gets a forearm in his head to finish.
It's probably a combination of the heat, the humidity, the game not getting a natural flow. Like we said, there's been a lot of whistle, there's been a lot of pushing and shoving, and again, Akumatai's not normally a bloke that will start pushing and shoving and venting frustration as he did then.
10-8, there's another one.
Oh, Jake Connor.
Right, it's bubbling away this now.
Time off.
Well, Glenn Stewart, he looks to target Danny Brough. Gets in between Danny Brough and Jake Connor. The high shot on the former Manly player.
Well, Jake Connor can't have any complaints. Both his feet looked like they were off the floor. Glenn Stewart's not the tallest at the best of times.
So he's got some more talking to do. Gareth Hewer. Jerry McGilvray comes across.
And it's just playing into the hands of Catalan, isn't it?
McGilvray captain on the field with Hinchcliffe off. So that's another penalty, back-to-back penalties. Penalty, try is the old saying, isn't it?
They can't keep defending the try line. Look, they're 12 metres from the line now. It's harder to defend your try line than it is down the other end of the park.
Muniz, here is Willie Mason now, and Mason making the Giants defenders work hard as he carries that ball in to within a couple of metres of the try line. And Catalan looking to capitalise, and Gigo will do that. And there you go, penalty, try, this time from Tony Gigo, his 5th of the season. He's in good form, and Catalan getting back-to-back tries and capitalising on that indiscipline from the Giants.
Well, you called it, Bill. And the man who played in centre at the Magic weekend last year, Tony Ziegel, all he's looking for is a one-on-one with a Huddersfield player. And you can see that the push from Horrow, the push from Broughton on the right edge, which means then that Danny Brough has got to have a look outside him. He looks at Horrow thinking and anticipating that it's going to be a short ball. He expected him to hit the player who's outside of him, which meant that he could tackle him. But Tony Ziegel, as soon as he's got the opportunity to get on the outside of a slower player, he takes his chance and scores the try.
So all the points in the second half coming from the Catalan Dragons so far. Horrow's try, and then that Gigo try, and now Pat Richards, who missed with the last one, or did he? One touch judge thought not, but that one didn't count. Will this one? Richards, this one is on target, there's no doubt about that one. Both the flags go up.
Good stuff from the Dragons. Too close to the line for Huddersfield to deal. It's Jake Connor, the man guilty of giving the penalty away in the first place. He's frustrated when that try is scored. But Tezzy's point is a good one. You can't continue to defend your own line. One, it's difficult, and two, the consequence of getting it wrong are points. 16-8 in favour of the home side.
Here's Casti, and Casti bounces off the first challenge.
That's how you return the ball. You know that the opposition, well, they're going to have a 30 metre, 40 metre head start on you. You've got to run as hard as you can to land on your front.
Here is Glenn Stewart, and Catalan, a bit more purpose about them in this second half so far. They've scored all the points, 10 of them. They've come from 8-6 down to lead now by 16 points to 8. And the Giants will have to do a bit of regrouping. Here's Carney, that's the 5th tackle. Kick over the top. Well, just too strong, but Briley will have to retrieve it from the corner of the ground there.
And there's a few walkers in the Huddersfield shirts as well. They need to up their energy levels. They need to follow the lead of players like Jermaine McGilvery. Start to get some play the ball wins. Leroy Cudjoe, he's been quiet last 20 minutes of the first half and the first 20 minutes of the second half.
Huddersfield with a magic date against St Helens to come, and Catalan a game against Wakefield at St James's Park in Newcastle. That's where we're heading next weekend. Should be a great weekend. The kick into the corner. Cat and mouse going on at the moment.
Well, Danny Brough took the ball on the left side. He took 3 steps forward, passed it back to Hinchcliffe, and then raced to the open side to take control of that kick. Good stuff from Danny Brough. I don't think the best decision to pass it to his hooker, and I think he felt that's why he got back involved.
Coming up to the hour mark.
Bill, with 20 minutes to go now. Okay, Danny Brough took control of that kick. He's kicked it into the corner. They're trapped close to the line. I want to see what the attitude's like from Huddersfield in this next set of 6. What's left in the tank? How are they going to defend? Are they going to go hunting in numbers? Are they going to go looking for that mistake?
Well, so far, with 3/4 of the game gone, it's not been perfect, but they can make up with it with a little bit of energy, some attitude like you're talking about, Tez, and defending at this end of the pitch will be good for them.
Just talking about Magic Weekend at St James's Park next week, and if you're getting up there early to make a big weekend of it, then how about Newcastle Thunder against York in the Kingston Press Championships in League One on Friday night, and that's preceded by a Thunder Select against the Army Rugby League, which kicks off at 6 o'clock next Friday evening, 8 o'clock for the main game. And we went up there last season on the Friday night and had a great night. Very hospitable club at Kingston Park.
A loose carry from the fullback Tony Gigot. He goes into contact, loses the ball. He's appealing to the referee, but that's the correct decision.
He's always coming more and more into the game though, but is he sensing that Huddersfield are tired around the forwards, or does he just want to get hold of the ball?
I'm sensing Huddersfield are coming back. I might be going against you, Tez. I'm sensing that Huddersfield are coming back.
I'm just thinking what's going through Tony Gigot's mind. He's getting more and more into the game. Is he sensing that somebody's tired, or what?
I think he's wrong if he is, to answer your question.
Yeah. Well, he certainly stepped up his work rate in the second half.
I'm just wondering what's going through the chairman's mind.
Time on.
I give him all these free chops, and this is the best they can come up with.
And we've had nothing, Bill. And we mention his chops
Back 10.
and quality meat every week. One day.
Hold two.
You're allowed to,
Thomas
Barry,
hands out.
except the free meat platter. Here's McGilvray. Huddersfield looking to respond after conceding those 2 second-half tries. Horo and Gigot, the score is on. Hinchcliffe is back on there looking to make things happen for this giant side. Ellis, Brough changes the direction, and it continues with Wardle now. Wardle puts a little kick in and will gather it again. And that's the 5th tackle. It almost came up for Joe Wardle then. Great opportunity. Ellis flings the pass away. Hinchcliffe. They've still got the numbers of Huddersfield. If Brough can reach them out there. Oliver Roberts, and Roberts one-handed gets a lovely pass away. Jake Connor. Oh, the final pass, and Murphy looks frustrated because it was promising.
Well, they looked all over the place, didn't he? From the right side of the pitch to the left side. You see Danny Brough with his arms out, screaming. Wardle, he wanted the ball, he wanted to take control of that. Thought they'd blown it when Jamie Ellis looked like he was driving the ball in on the last play instead of standing back, giving himself a few more metres and directing and organising something instead of going at the line and then just coming up with a mishap and just an offload and scattering the ball wherever he could get it.
Quiet game so far for Jody Broughton, but he did get a hat-trick in the win at the Giants, so Huddersfield must keep an eye on him.
Tail 3. Release. Hold. Go.
Bosk. Oh, Mason. That's exactly what Huddersfield needed, and Willie Mason hangs his head in shame.
Well, it's a lifeline. Look, you can see he gets a perfect pass from Thomas Bosk. He's looking at tipping the ball on before he catches it. This is the lifeline. Again, this is the position where Huddersfield want to be. They've got to come up with something. They've got to make sure that they still stay focused, set the lines wherever they want, pick out the targets, pick out the weakness that they think
on the scrum.
is in the Catalan defensive line.
Still plenty of time for Huddersfield to turn this round. Concern on the sideline. Richie Myler, a big concern. There he is, booted and suited, having come off with what we understand could be a hamstring injury. And that's grim news for the Catalan Dragons.
To move on the line.
Mason's mistake. Can they turn this into something positive, the Huddersfield Giants?
Hold. Go.
They're about 20 metres out now. Ellis weaving and trying to undo the Giants' defence. Briley. Akumatai, great pass away from him. They're keeping this one alive with Cudjoe, and Cudjoe back across the field. Sam Rapira now. Rapira gets the pass away. It's picked up by Briley. Briley ships it on. And they are in. And Huddersfield aren't dead yet, because Jake Connor has come up with a try, and a well-worked try it was as well from this Giant side.
And they had to work really hard for this side, because look at the Catalan defenders. As soon as the ball goes away, they're still working hard, they're still trying to get there, but good footwork from Jake Connor. He gets rid of Justin Horo, he steps inside of him, but the step's that good when he powers off his left foot. He leaves Todd Carney as well in his wake. It's exactly where they want to be. Look at this, bang, see you later, see you later. There's the try, and they're back in the game here now.
Connor with the try, Brough with the conversion, quickly spotted up. It was his 7th try of the season, Jake Connor. And Brough to narrow the gap. Wind at his back, he slots that one home. And it's game on here.
Yeah, Bill, now we've got a game. This is the energy that we've been talking about. Rapira commits a defender. He puts a loose offload. What happens to bounce onto the floor? It's picked up, and Jake Corner, with that beautiful footwork, leaves defenders in his wake. Huddersfield, with all the energy, are on the front foot, and those fans, they start to believe, the players start to believe, we can get something here.
Apart from the gentleman in the middle, arms folded, it'll take more than that to impress me.
Reminds me of that solitary Leeds fan on Thursday night in the middle of all those Castleford Tigers fans. I bet he wished he'd stood somewhere else.
Richards, another wicked restart from him. Can Catalan gather this one? Casti can!
You learn from your first mistake, don't you? That ball was always going to go short then.
It was during the exiles that I saw Pat Richards perfect that skill, and he brings it to every team he plays for.
So from that restart, Bosk, good defence from Brough, right up in the face of his adversary Carney.
Yeah, just hold him up, wait for some of the bigger men to come in and hit him.
Here's Bosk now, Bosk for Bousquet.
Josh!
Heading towards the last 10 minutes in Perpignan. Pelissier change of direction. Stewart, Carney, and Carney as well. Marshall, that's great defence. Murphy closing him down.
Murphy saved Danny Bruff's flushes then.
Oh, Stewart makes a hash of the pass. Bosk retrieves, and Huddersfield come up with it. A great defensive set from the Giants.
A sloppy play from the Dragons. I'm not sure what Glenn Stewart was doing then. He lost grip of the ball. The Huddersfield Giants were first on it. They've a bit to do if they're going to score a try, but they've got possession, and that's all they need.
Well, these are brave carries now, Bill. Hinchliffe gets out, he looks blind, there's nobody there. There's Sam Rapira with his arms up though. Seasoned Kiwi international.
There's some sting in these tackles now. There's some sting in this game. Huddersfield looking to get revenge for that home defeat by this Catalan side, looking to repeat what they did last year when they won on this ground by just 2 points. At the moment they're trailing by just 2 points.
Good shot, Muniz.
Brough couldn't get the direction for a 40-20, so kicks straight down the middle of the field, and Broughton fields it.
He got the bounce he was looking for though, didn't he?
First move.
Managed to gain a few more metres. It didn't get the depth, but because it hit the ground and rolled forward. There we go. Huddersfield now. It's a big set of 6 and a big part of the game now. Just over 11 minutes left in this game. Just 2 points behind. Richards takes it into the middle of the field and runs into a trio of Giants defenders.
Bosk, Remy Casti, who has had a big game for the Catalan Dragons. No wonder he's such a cult figure with the Catalan fans. Third on their Super League appearance chart, Casti. Here is Louis Anderson. Anderson, Cudjoe just gets a hold of his shirt and stops his progress. Ball with Bosk. Bosk finds time for the tackle. Cudjoe, it was who made that.
He was hit.
Bit of pushing and shoving there, and Briley has it in the end.
He's lucky Leroy Cudjoe. No, he's kicked it.
I think that was okay.
I think he's all right.
I think he's committed there.
Close enough there, I think.
Well, Gareth Hugh had a very good view of it. Didn't see anything wrong with it. He might have seen something wrong with that.
I think they kept him level on that occasion.
Third, move Glenn. Hold, go.
Now Huddersfield, can they turn this set into something?
He's come up with some strong carries, Josh Johnson, some real brave ones as well in this game.
Hinchcliffe, Lawrence.
5, race.
That's the 5th tackle.
Louis, hold, go.
Discipline the key as well, and Brough hoists the kick. Ball watching at the back, and they watch the ball sail out. They've got that wind at their backs, Huddersfield. Difficult for Brough to control that kick.
And Tony Gigo as well, gesturing to all of his teammates to get back, and he didn't really want any part of that. He was saying to Fuad Yaha, that's your ball, you take control of that one.
Well, we've seen how difficult those high kicks are to deal with, but also you can just see the shadows on Danny Brough on the back of his head. The sun would be in the eye of anybody on that back three division for the Dragons, Gigo Broughton or Fuad Yaha, in attempting to catch that. I think that's the target, that's the tactic, and that could work in favour of the Giants.
The Giants yet to win away this season. They've suffered 6 straight defeats on the road in 2016, but they are within sight of what would be a big win in Perpignan. They've still got an opportunity here. Busquet makes a few metres on his knees there. Here is Casti once more. So willing to run it in, right into the thick of it, Remy Casti.
They can't afford to give penalties away. They're a bit scrappy at the play of the ball. I think if they keep the discipline, keep the composure, Huddersfield are in with a great chance. Stay in the grind, stay clean at the play of the ball, get to the end of your sets and put it up as high as you can.
The Giants' last win on the road was back in September last year, September the 18th, when they won at Hull in the Super 8s. Been a barren stretch since then, but they can sense an opportunity here, and Akumatai out wide plays that ball. Brough, Ellis now, and Ellis, oh, and Briley can't get there. Fuad Yaha does. Yaha gets back to his feet. Brough is chasing, and brilliant from Brough to cut down the winger.
That could have been the game. That could have been the game, Bill.
It could still. Here is Justin Horrow. Fuad Yaha got away then. That probably would have been curtains for the Giants, but Brough managed to get back to retrieve the situation. Louis Anderson. Pelissier serves it up. Here's Casti. I'm not sure Casti was the intended recipient there, but
Danny Brough's working overtime in defence. He's made 3 out of the 6 tackles, 5 tackles so far, 6 coming up.
Stewart, they're bringing it back to the middle, and Stewart is heading for the posts. That's the 5th tackle. They'll look for a repeat set here. They'll look to keep Huddersfield down that end of the field. Pelissier is all wrapped up, and that is not what they wanted.
I'm pretty sure Danny Brough's made 5 tackles there. If they go on to win this game, obviously they need to score points from this point. They'll look back at the track back from Danny Brough and that effort from the captain. There's the loose pass, it's on the floor. Watch who makes the tackle. Fuad Yaha thinks I'm in for all money. Tremendous effort from the captain.
There was too much emphasis on Jamie Ellis when he went at the line, that he was just trying to fix the defender. He did his job, but then he doesn't have to throw that ball if he can't get the pass away.
Maybe
if he's not in the eye line of the player, just don't throw it anywhere.
Sorry, Tez, maybe that's a legacy of 11 weeks on the sideline, itching to get on and make a contribution. Mistake.
What a hit from Anderson. That was Louis Anderson and Remy Casti combining, and that ball came loose, and Catalan have it back.
You know what you get from Anderson week in, week out, don't you? He's aggressive, he's skillful.
So Catalan once more looking for the killer blow. A really tense finish to this game. It hasn't been free-flowing stuff, but it's developed into a really tight tussle between these two sides. Bosk, here's Anthony Maria now. Anthony Maria straight up towards the try line. And that's the 5th tackle, and again Huddersfield holding firm thus far. This time Catalan get to the kick, and it's too strong, and Huddersfield breathe a sigh of relief and have 6 minutes just under to try and get their noses in front.
Well, Jamie Ellis drops back. He was switched onto this play. Ryan Briley as well knew exactly what was going to happen. Catalan pushing up hard. They put themselves in a position where they looked like it was going to be a chase for the kick, and that's the reason they give themselves a chance.
With this game in the balance up to this point, another 2 points in front, the Dragons. They haven't managed the big games in this last quarter. Let's see if it affects the outcome and result of the match.
Well, we mentioned it earlier on, their defence at home has not been great, conceding an average of 26 points on home soil so far this season. They've done well in this game so far, just the 1 try conceded, but another one and Huddersfield could snatch this.
Marcus score.
But I think they've got the man Huddersfield in Ryan Hinchcliffe, the man who's passing the ball. He's won the World Club Challenge, he's won grand finals down under, he's got all the experience to win these close games.
There's another Ryan out there as well, Ryan Briley, who might have a say in this.
Release it.
An eye for an opportunity he has got. On the last. And Ellis, they're running it at the Giants. Brough, they're going to go out wide. And
Forward.
the ball went forward. Oh,
A mile forward as well. He almost had too many options available to him, Danny Brough. He doesn't know whether to pass short, pass back inside, kick the ball. This is a lovely offload from Joe Wardle. Soft hands. We highlighted him before the start of the game, Leroy Cudjoe. There's been virtually no traffic or action
Let's go, Tom.
in offence on that right edge. Cudjoe and McGilvery have had nothing to do.
Come on, back. Wait, Joe. Wait.
when you think of the disruption that Catalan have suffered in this game, if they come out of this with the win, they'll be very pleased with it. I mean, they lost Dupont just this morning ahead of the game. They lost Myler within a few minutes of it starting. They're not home and dry yet.
No, they're not, Bill. And when you're involved in a good season, this could be a great season for the Dragons. You look back on matches like this and you say, remember when we ground it out? All that adversity went against us, and you draw on that strength of character.
Here is Julien Bousquet, who's had another outstanding game for the Dragons. Pelissier and Bosque, a good kick from him. And Briley can do nothing more than watch it fine touch, and they'll
He's got to pick
pack
it up,
this
Bill.
scrum down.
Do you agree, Tez?
Yeah, I do.
He's got to pick it up.
But that's
Go
the,
for it.
that's the management from Bosque, isn't it? Closing the game down.
Well, why pick it up and run the risk of...
Because they're 2 points behind on the
2 points
score.
behind.
Well, I know that, but they got the scrum.
They haven't lost an advantage, but I'm thinking about the tempo of the game, keeping it high.
And the clock ticking down as well. Keep the ball in play, keep looking for those weaker.
Stop the clock.
Yeah, I know, but it still takes. You've got to form the scrum.
I feel I've got the edge in this one.
You've got to form the scrum, Bill. It might take you
We'll
5,
win,
it
because
might
we'll
take
just
you
shout
10.
louder, Bill. We'll just shout louder till you agree with us.
And do you know what's good as well, Bill? On kicks like that, if you get the ball and you keep it in play, because you're 76 minutes into the game, there might be one of those bigger forwards that's not quite chasing the kick down, and they leave a gap and they expose themselves.
Agreed, Tez, well said, we win.
Don't write off Huddersfield yet. Remember Magic and how they snatched that one, or snatched the draw last year. There's time for them yet. And Hinchcliffe could have a lot to do with that, and a good run from their hooker. Play on, says the referee. Everybody stands and watches, including Hinchcliffe, for a moment. And it's given Catalan an opportunity to regroup there. Horror makes the tackle with Glenn Stewart again. Always there, Glenn Stewart. 3 tackles gone this set of 6. Sam Rapira now puts his shoulder into the chest of Anthony Maria. Kyle Wood. Jamie Ellis. Ellis back on the inside. Hinchcliffe.
High kick.
Got to be.
Will it be? Or will they run it? Ellis, well, it was a goal line dropout is the best they can come up with. Gigot opting for safety.
Yeah, well, they were that close to the line, probably they couldn't get the height on the kick. If I was a Huddersfield player now, because if I'm looking at Glenn Stewart defending on the right edge, he's that good of a defender. He doesn't miss many tackles. I'd be looking at playing on the opposite side. I'd be looking at taking the ball, maybe setting it to the left-hand side of the post, shifting it to the right edge, and maybe trying to chance my arm down Pat Richards' side, along where Maria's defended.
Veteran physio Jean-Claude Pignol is on, just to attend to Julien Bousquet.
Come on, lad, get the ball.
So it'll be a goal line dropout eventually. Pat Richards knows he's got to get good distance on
He
this.
will. You watch the length on
He's
this
into
one.
the wind, Barry.
He's changed his mind now, haven't you, Barry?
You watch the length on this one.
Richards gives it everything he can. It's not the best. And that was a knock on from Wardle.
They're cruel, them. They're cruel kicks. Because you're expecting, when the man is dropping the ball out, you're expecting it to go in the field. He makes a play for it, it comes off his foot, and then bounces up and ricochets off his right hand. The call from the touch judge to the referee, Gareth Hewitt. That's a knock on, and that's what it means to Catalans.
There was no scrum half there. There was no scrum half there.
All absolutely as Pat Richards envisaged.
And me. It's as I described before he did it.
Tony, come on.
Head and feed to the Catalan Dragons, and that could be curtains for the Giants. And there is Pat Richards.
Even the slowest set of 6 is around about 60 seconds. I think they'll still get another go with the ball. It's where they receive possession.
Unless the set of 6 culminates in more points for Catalan.
Yeah, they'll be hoping that they make a mistake, because if they get to the kick, they're buying another 30 metres.
Here's Anthony Maria.
3 release. Nathan, hold the 10. Hold. Go.
He plays the ball. Carney, Glenn Stewart.
4 move.
What a signing he has been. Ever present since joining the club and contributing in every game. Jody Broughton hit that one at pace.
Go.
And then Carney, and Carney will drill it down the sidelines. Well, looking for touch. Just grits his teeth.
Well, this is that last set of 6 now. 6 more players Huddersfield have. This is a get on board set. Everyone needs to offer themselves. Everyone needs to put themselves in a position where they're either going to attract the Catalan player, they're going to pull them out the line, they're going to leave that gap. Jermaine McGilvray, as always, the first man to put his hand up and take this ball forward.
You watch Danny Brough now. He'll come up with something. He'll try something. Whether it will work, we'll wait and see.
Here's Wardle. Coming up to the final minute of this game. Huddersfield in search of their first away win of the season, in search of a victory that would keep their chances of still making the top 8 alive. Every game matters for them now after their start to the season. Nathan Mason, scorer of that first half try that set the ball rolling for them. Hinchcliffe, Kyle Wood now, Ellis. And they're going across the field, trying to find a way through. Nathan Mason.
Last tackle.
Needs to be a good kick from Brough, and Brough will hoist it. It's a Hail Mary. And Fuad Yaha has come for it, he's lost it and gets it back, and what a stroke of luck that was.
For the Dragons fans, players, everybody in the stadium that's not wearing a Huddersfield shirt. Fuad Yaha had to back himself, he had to have a goal. And that's the game. The Dragons have done enough to grind out this well-needed, well-worked for, hard-fought victory.
Peter hasn't gone yet. It has now. There's the whistle, and the Catalan Dragons cling on. Huddersfield are still looking for that first away win of the season. 16-14 the final score. A second half turnaround after Huddersfield held an 8-6 lead, but Horo and Gigo with the tries, giving Catalan Dragons a win that takes them back to second in the table. 16